I debated on making this video or not, but I guess I will go ahead and do an update. I have roughly 15 minutes before my next meeting. So I met with 4 bosses up, and it went relatively well. Surprisingly, I think we both got to see each other's side and to sort of clear out any questions that was concerning the both of us, mostly the actions of management. Just sort of discussing that ignorance is bliss, but it's not okay. And that I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate all of this. Like, I'm still learning along with other people, because I don't get how other people don't get it, right? I don't understand how people don't see that racism exists and it's alive and it's in abundance in the US and other places around the world. Like sorry, this is gonna be a weird one. It's one of those things where saying that we're a product of our own environment has been the common new theme. And I get it, we are. I am programmed to think that most white people wouldn't be on my side, or non-blacks in general wouldn't hear my plea, wouldn't believe me, wouldn't try and understand, to learn to be different, to grow to be different. I do have that thought constantly in my face, feeling like this is a waste of time to have these conversations because it doesn't work. But that's not true. There are people who really do want to understand and really do want to learn and grow, and but it does get hard when when people focus on the wrong parts of the protests. And it's just like, people are protesting. Like, peacefully protesting, and it's being displayed as violent. And that's not true. And I'm not the person that has enough information and enough know-how to combat statements like that. It's for me, it's just like, what the hell are you talking about? It doesn't matter if these people were peacefully protesting or not. The reason why they're protesting is what matters. And that gets frustrating, and that gets exhaustive, and that's just, it's like somebody, I don't know. the conversation went well, you know. I don't want to make it seem like it didn't, but got stuff on my face. It definitely, it reminds me of why it's lasted this long. Because if I were my parents or I were my grandparents, one, you don't know who you can trust and who you can talk to about racism, so that would have been an issue, but because it's still an issue today. Like, unless you specifically tell me that you're not trying to be racist, I just assume that when you do racist stuff, that's just who you are. And that's not fair. But also educating people gets exhaustive. So that's not fair to me. Like, at some point in time, you have to educate yourself. And you're not. So the conversation went well. I felt heard, you know, but I did have to point out like a lot of unfairness. You know, and I did have to say people are peacefully protesting and get hit with the riot pushback. And I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, so I'm definitely going to study more on that, because like I said, I still have things that I need to learn and grow myself. And, you know, trying to change that mentality of every white person knows, or whatever the case may be, because they don't. And there are some, and the part that is hard is because there are some that know and don't care, and there are some that don't know, and even if they do know, they won't care. So that's where the struggle comes in for me. Like, do I really want to figure out all this information and learn all these things, or no? But, you know, from the conversation that I had today, I am doing a disservice to myself and to my community by not preparing myself for the statements from people who are willing to be an ally. Like, that's probably the biggest thing that I need to focus on, because when I hear it, I'm offended. Like, why are you even worried about the riots and the chaos? And like, all of this would end, all of it would end if we were treated equally. That's all that matters. And, you know, he had mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, but how? You know, how do I get people to understand? There isn't something that I can just say. I can't sit here and say we're not being treated equally. Sorry, I have this one random net that just keeps bothering me and flying across the camera. You know, when people give you information, it's a matter of how you associate them to your life. You know, if it's just a random coworker or a stranger, that's probably gonna fall on deaf ears. But if it's a trusted coworker or a friend or an associate to a more comfortable extent, you'll be more inclined to listen to them. And that's the part people don't understand. Or that's the part that's the hardest to convey, because I can tell everyone all day what Black Lives Matters means and what we're trying to do and accomplish. But if I'm not saying it to someone who's willing to listen because they find that I'm a believable person, a trustworthy person, then it gets me nowhere, because they're just not gonna listen. It's gonna fall on deaf ears. So yeah, I'm I got a lot to think about. He mentioned that I have hope. I'm glad he feels that way, because I don't feel like I have hope. If I do, it's not as much as I would like. I wish I had more hope. So conversation wasn't bad. He learned some, I learned some. But we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know, this is getting hard sometimes. It's just a very exhaustive thing. And I can slowly feel myself just wanting it all to go away and wanting things to go back to normal. And my normal was existing with racism and knowing that it existed and dodging and weaving, and that's not fair to the rest of the community, and it's not fair to my future children. It's not fair to my family, my nieces, nephew. So I got a lot to think about, and I'm going to try and continue to keep talking about how Black Lives Matter. And feel like being heard. So it's like 14. Sorry, I'm thinking about something that I need to come to peace with, that I was reminded of this morning. That's all. The previous location I worked at was not the best. It was not the greatest. So, you know, I just got reminded of it this morning, so. But I got a meeting to go to. I will talk to y'all later. I hope y'all have a happy day, and I love y'all so much.